Hello and what is going on, lovely people of the internet? It's Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today we're talking about bitnile holdings, or NILE stock. It's been suffering over the past few days, so I wanted to give you guys the update and let you guys know whether or not it's a good idea to keep holding this stock, buying this stock, or maybe you guys should sell. Hopefully we could figure that out in today's video, so I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys do, I highly appreciate all the thumbs up you guys give me. Subscribe to the channel if y'all are new. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Hootmoney trade alerts first, link in the description. First things first, I did want to bring up Moomoo here because it is the last day that you can claim your free share of Neo with a $1 deposit on their platform. So Moomoo is the second link in the description, first link in the pinned comment section. You got to click the link to get the promotion. And again, guys, this deal expires tonight at midnight. So it is your last day to get your free Neo share. So you essentially just get a free $20 right off the bat. In addition, you also get 2 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each. So you get the free $20 in the form of a Neo share and free up to $7,000 in free stock as well. The links are below, but let's jump right into the rest of the video. So here we have bitnile. We're on TradingView and we're looking at Market Cipher. Market Cipher is a technical analysis tool that I use to make decisions while trading. So I look for scalps, I look for day trades, and I look for things to get out. You can check out Market Cipher. There is a link in the description below. So looking at the weekly chart, Nile is deep in the red. It's also a company that has more assets than the market cap. So their tangible book value is greater than their market cap currently, implying that there's probably some upside in the stock as long as they don't burn through all of their cash. It's deep in the red on the weekly chart. This is when you want to be buying a stock like this, given that they're not going to be diluting shareholders like crazy in the future. Daily chart right here is showing some downside risk. It is not yet given us that red dot signal, which does signal that there is more downside risk. However, there has been 2 red Heikin-Ashi candles. 4-hour chart is also showing some bearish continuation right here, with the 4-hour chart obviously price action moving down, red Heikin-Ashi candles, but we're also seeing the VWAP pointing down here, the blue waves are pointing down, and the money flow is curving back down. So those are not necessarily the best signs. It gets a little better here once you go into the hourly chart, because as you guys can see, hourly chart VWAP starting to curve back up, and it's on a minus blue wave. Potentially what we can get is a nice big blue wave, small blue wave, which is what you want to see on Market Cipher. You want to see that big blue wave, small blue wave. Also, it possibly could show some bearish divergence, but I'm not really betting on that. Here we have the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart starting to look very good. It's deep in the red. As you guys can see, there was a good buy signal over here at 12 p.m. yesterday. We're going to get the second best buy signal right here. And that's potentially coming very soon on the 30-minute chart, potentially within the next 30 minutes. So I actually did enter into a day trade / swing trade. We'll see what it's going to be based on what the stock price does later, but that is because of what we're seeing here on the 30-minute and the 15-minute chart. So again, Hootmoney trade alerts are the first link in the description. By the time this video's up, that trade alert's probably pretty irrelevant. We also saw bullish divergence right here on Market Cipher. Not sure if you guys can see that, but that is really good. That's on the 15-minute chart, and it's deep in the red, which again is usually a decent time to be buying. So overall, it does look like it's set to move back up. It usually makes those moves in pre-market or after hours. As you guys can see, NILE is very allergic to volume. Every time the market is open, from market open to market close, it closes red. So every single daily candle has closed red over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. So almost the past 2 weeks, we have not seen good price action while the market is open. And you can see it even more. It illustrates it even better here on the hourly chart. You guys can see as soon as volume comes in, this stock price likes to take a dive. So you can capitalize off of this by, well, making your buys during the market being open and making your sells be, well, while the market is closed. You can buy shares and you can sell shares. If you're trading options, obviously this is not going to work and it's going to be a lot more tricky. But overall, I think it's usually a better idea to be buying during the market open and selling while the market is closed during after hours or pre-market. So that's the theory behind the play right now. It looks like it has bottomed out for the day, and I think we might be getting a spike in after hours today. It's still popping off on my social media scanners, NILE. It's definitely a super favorite stock. It's probably going to run, but it's going to run when people lose the most money, when people sell for losses and all of that stuff. We can move into the short squeeze analysis right here. It has an 86.61 short squeeze score on Fintel. It's not a super highly shorted stock. It's actually a very solid fundamental play that does have some risk, which would potentially lead us to having some more upside. And that's why it's not super high on the short squeeze leaderboard. Now, the fact that it's a retail favorite stock, that's going to naturally bring in short sellers, because short sellers love to just spite retail investors because they think all retail investors are dumb and every stock they choose is actually just stupid. But NILE is completely different because, again, they have a good balance sheet, right? They have a really good balance sheet. They have to prove themselves this quarter with their income statement. But overall, it's a decent fundamental play, especially if you believe in the Bitcoin mining industry. They have a ton of miners, and they're doing really good there. They have a 96 gamma squeeze score, so potentially a higher gamma squeeze potential. But at the same time, their options for April 14th start at $2.50, which implies over 200% upside from current price levels. So it's probably not going to gamma squeeze. June is looking a little bit better. They have a more built out option chain. As you guys can see, they have a $1, $1.50, $2 strike price, etc. It does not start at $2.50. So gamma squeeze is definitely a little bit more likely for Nile. As you guys can see, 4 million shares available to be shorted. It only has about a 10% borrow rate. It's not too high whatsoever. Short volume ratio is still very, very high, especially when we're seeing this intraday price action where it goes down every single day when the market's open. Short sellers are definitely taking advantage of that. And as you guys can see, short volume ratio is very, very high. Why is the short interest not going up if the short volume ratio is very, very high? It's simple. They can short this thing at open and then they can close it intraday. As you guys saw, I mean, every single candle on the daily chart has been red. So they can literally short sell the thing at market open, cover it before the day is over, and it's not going to show up here in the Ortex live changes of short interest. So it's a super interesting stock. And I'm telling you guys, people are shorting this thing literally for the sole reason that retail likes the stock. If retail didn't like the stock, they wouldn't be shorting it. It's literally because of retail. Failure to deliver, so we don't have any new data here from February as well. Moving into the Ortex data right here, you guys can see current short interest or current utilization is at 88% opposed to 75%. So it is cooking up, it is heating up, but it is not yet at full force. It could definitely get to full force eventually, but we're going to have to see a nice uptick in price. And at the same time, it's very cheap to borrow. So it's definitely risky for shorts, but not super risky, especially if they're, again, following that trend where you short it when the market opens, you take your profit intraday. I think that's what short sellers are probably most likely doing on this stock. It hasn't gone up to the level where it makes sense to just hold that short position. That's at least my speculation behind this right now. Here we have the unusual whales options data. As you guys can see, we're looking at $1,000 in premium or more. Ask side only calls and puts. There was only one trade above 10K premium, and it was this call option right here. So it was a $1 call option expiring on June 17th, 2022. That was for 16K premium. They paid $40 for that contract. Here we have the charts, so we can see more people are bullish. We got 60% bulls here, mostly due to the fact that we do have that outlier, that 16K buyer right there. So we can do a top of, let's just say 15,000 right here, and that'll get rid of the outlier and we can get a better idea of what is going on. Now it is 50-50, so it's 47% bullish premium right there, and then 53% bearish premium. So there's definitely people who are still betting on puts, but at the same time, I like to say that Nile is probably skewed towards puts because for April 14th at least, you can buy a put option for the least amount of extrinsic value because it's the closest expiration and it's in the money. For call options, it's going to be out of the money. So there's a lot better options for puts than calls. So naturally, I think there's going to be more puts that come in because it makes more sense if you're going to go long on this to just buy shares, right? So that makes sense overall. If we look at the call side, only bid and ask, we can get an idea of whether more people are buying and more people are selling. Today is a day where more people are selling. We've got 76% selling pressure. So I like to be buying when other people are selling. I don't know about you guys, but that's typically where I like to get in. That's why I'm kind of getting in the first place on this candle right here. It's because it's deep in the red on market cipher. People are probably losing their conviction. We have bullish divergence. And with that, I think we can rally from this point forward. So I bought shares. I think we were good with that. And worst case scenario with Nile, it's you have a company that has way more tangible book value than the actual market cap. So it's really, if you hold this thing long term, the company has to really F up in order for you to lose money with your investment. Here we have the historical options flow for NILE. As you guys can see, it's at another low level today. Yesterday, it was at 15,000 in call volume. Today, it's at 11,000 so far. There's about 2.5 hours left of the market being open, so this value could definitely increase. But overall, it is still decently low right here, and you'll want to be buying when it's a lower call option volume, especially if you're speculating on this thing. That's where you want to be buying. We also saw a dip in implied volatility. So we have the implied volatility chart. It got up to 400%. It's down to 350%. So that's still very, very high implied volatility, and there's definitely still downside risk for an IV crush, which is where implied volatility gets absolutely smoked. So it would go from 350% to, let's say, 200%. But we saw something similar in MULN where it was just kind of just drying out. The price action has been drying out, similar to what we're seeing in Nile right now. Implied volatility was still decently high, and we saw the actual insane run out of MULN when we saw a little dip just like this in NILE. So I'm not saying it's going to happen. They're obviously two different stocks, two different whole theses behind the play in the first place, but we did see that with another very retail driven stock. Last thing I really want to go over in today's video is the max pain for April 14th. It's not too crazy because, again, guys, this is definitely leaning towards puts here. So and that's because, again, the $2.50 strike price is the lowest strike price. So puts you can buy in the money, no problem. Calls, you have to go very far out of the money. So this max pain, it's not too crazy. And if anything, it implies some upside because there's all those puts that have been making money on this stock. The calls haven't really been making money, and they're very likely to expire out of the money. There's only 2 weeks for this to go up over 200%. I mean, that's pretty insane for call options. So there's definitely some upside here with the max pain. The other one to pay attention to, though, is June 17th, and that's not for a while. That's a $1 max pain, which honestly still implies some upside. So this is what we get to benefit from, given that these call options are pretty much all out of the money. I mean, even the June option starting at $1, that's out of the money. So we get a benefit off of that. So max pain isn't what's going to hold us back in NILE. And the last thing we can look at here is gamma exposure. There's actually negative gamma on NILE, and that's what I was talking about for April 14th. It's because, again, it's so deep in the money for puts, so far out of the money for calls, that the gamma exposure is actually negative, because even though there's way less open interest in the puts, as you guys can see, puts have 2,000 open interest, calls have 30,000. The puts have to be hedged for more because, again, they are in the money, which is why it has a negative gamma exposure. And that's also why this could be driven down intraday when options are being traded on NILE, and then in after hours when options aren't being traded, that's when we are seeing the spikes. That could be a potential explanation of that move. Anyways, my friends, that's about it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did make a purchase on bitnile at around 80 cents per share. We'll see where that one goes. I'm hopefully gonna swing it tonight or tomorrow, but I'm not afraid to hold this thing, especially if I see some sentiment being picked up in it. Anyways, my friends, that's about it for the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. As always, drop a like on it if you guys did. Subscribe to the channel if y'all are new. Join Hootmoney Trade Alerts if you want the juice before it becomes loose. NILE, I just made that purchase, so that was alerted in Hootmoney Trade Alerts. Also, last day to sign up for Moomoo and get your free Neo share. So if you want a free $20, it's your last day to do it. Links are below. Second link in the description, first link in the pinned comment section for that. That's all I got, my friends. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned something today, and that's about it. I'll be seeing you guys next time.